Alrighty, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Randa Lopez Morgan. I am an ag librarian here at LSU, and I also do evidence synthesis. And one of the joys of getting to do that is working with citation management software. So, really quick, I'm just going to show the first slide, or not slide, the first thing here, and I'm going to make my notes bigger so I can actually see them because I do need them today. And I'm going to minimize my face so I don't have to see me. Great. Okay, so yes, the first thing I want to talk about is just citation management software in general. So, citation management software, we have a couple that we recommend: Endnote, Zotero, Mendeley, and they are used to help you manage and organize your citations. They all very much work very similarly. They all help you track your citations. They help you cite them. There are plugins that you can use to help you with them. The storage capacity for EndNote is unlimited. It is free for LSU students and faculty and staff through Tigerware, or Grok is what we call it. However, once you leave LSU, you have to keep paying to use it. I do find that there is more of a learning curve with EndNote as opposed to something like Zotero, but a lot of people feel like once you've figured it out, you're good to go. Zotero also, I mean, not Zotero, I'm sorry, EndNote also has a lot of really wonderful guidance. So Zotero is created, it's an open source platform. It's created for students by librarians or for other researchers by librarians, whereas EndNote it is not an open software. You can get all kinds of help. There's people the support center you can contact. So whereas opposed to Zotero doesn't have that. So if you are somebody who really has, a need to email, you can talk to a human being and email their support team. And in fact, 9 times out of 10, it's not a solution I can fix. It's something that has to be contacted through your Zotero, I mean your EndNote people. So some other things, EndNote allows you to create, store, manage citations, cite while you write, which is really lovely. And you want to also make sure that you follow some important steps when you're setting your EndNote up. Okay. So I'm now going to show you what EndNote looks like. So this is my example EndNote library. I have a few different libraries, but it can be slightly confusing. Let me quickly pull my notes over here so I don't forget them. Okay, so this is what a general EndNote will look like. And a lot of them look like very similar. So Zotero looks like this, Mendeley kind of looks like this as well, but they all function differently. So I will also say you are going to download it through Grok. And then if it is the experience on a Mac is going to be very different than the experience on a PC. So I do want to tell you about that. But to create a new library, one of the things I want to tell you is you'll go to File, and then you will do New. You want to save your library not to the cloud, but you need to save it to a physical storage space. So something like I have hold on, what's it? Document. Sorry, I keep all of mine under citation management, and I have them all saved in one spot. So I know exactly what I'm getting here. So EndNote libraries don't save to clouds, and it can cause syncing issues. So if you want to keep rewriting your EndNote library on network drives or flash drives, you can, but you're more likely to end up with corrupt data. So the great thing about this is once you create it, you can have up to 100,000 resources in there. You can create any number of libraries, but you can only sync or share them using EndNote Online, which is different than the EndNote 21 platform that I'm currently using. And unfortunately, they don't always talk to each other. So that can be a bit confusing, but it can still be really helpful. So there are a few different ways to create a reference. The first thing you can do is this right here, this button right here says add a new reference. you'll get this window that pops up. You can manage your tags. You can change the type of article type it is. So if I was doing an interview, it would give me different areas. But we're just pretending that I am just doing a journal. Nope, not legal rule. I'm sorry, journal article. So you can populate as many fields as you can. So I might do Randa, comma, Morgan. And then I'm going to shift down. And the way that these commas work is they can help the computer identify the first or last name. So Randa Morgan, Morgan's my last name. So Morgan, comma Randa. It also, if you just write it out normal, it does that. If you wanted to do a junior, you could do it like that. It also handles, under different word or different last name configurations. If you want to use a government type or not a type of government agency, you can just type out the entire U.S. Food and Drug Administration. And then you can also do Apple Computer, but we know that Apple Computer Inc. is the actual name. So to keep the comma within, you're going to have to double comma, which is really interesting. And then that should manage it for you. You can enter your year. EndNote is great. And this is going to come from the Journal of Citation Management. And volume 1, issue 1, maybe my pages are 5 through 25. I can include a DOI. I can include an ISSN number. I mean, you really can get nitty gritty into the details here. So I can also attach a PDF here, which is really nice. So I can save and let's go back to reference. Where is that? Hold on one second. Why is this not saving? Oh, there it goes. And then close. And then saves it right there. Okay, so that's one way you can populate a field. You can also import references directly from the database. So I'm going to share my screen again well, you're going to get to see my notes, and that's okay. So we're going to go to the library's website, and then Discovery, I might do something like climate change and weather. I'm going to hit the search button. And I'm going to show you a couple of different things. So there's a couple of different ways to add journals or add articles. So the first was like I did manually. The second is let me make sure I don't have this one already. I do. Let's grab this one. Make sure I also don't have this. Nope, I don't. Okay, so you can, if you like this article, you can go to the Cite button and go to Export Citation and export in RIS format. It will send it to my downloads. So then I can come over here. Let me reshare my EndNote screen to File, Import, File. Now you can also import a whole folder, so you can download mass amounts of citations. So if you are doing something like a systematic review, you can select all and download an entire folder. You're going to choose. I have my article here. Now this is important. It will not just add if you just put like PDFs. What you actually need to do is make sure that this has changed to the type of file it is. So if it's a PDF, you change it to a PDF. If it's an RIS file, change it to RIS. RIS is the standard file formatting for most citations. So you import and it pops up under imported references and gets added here. Now, I have added some settings to where, in theory, it should automatically pull up the PDF without having to download the article. So if we click on it, you can see right here, and if I make this bigger, here's the article. Let me not jump too far ahead. So that's one way of adding it. Let me make sure I'm not moving too far on my notes. Okay. You can also, let me find a different share screen. Okay. So I can also click on an article and I can go to the full text of it if we have it. I can download my PDF. I'm going to change the name of it. Let me just grab this little name. I'm going to save it here. I can also go into File, Import File, and I can choose a PDF. And as long as let me change my screen back. I'm so sorry. So I can choose the PDF. I changed it from an RIS file to PDF, and then I can import it this way. And so those are just 3 ways to import your files. All right. There is also the settings that you need to upload or to find those full text because you're an LSU student. What you can do is, and I'm going to send you the links in the chat so you can, if you are working on this right now, I'll also, this information is also on the citation management guide. So let me really quickly show you where that is. So back to our citation management guide. And then on Endnote, I have included this information. So it's how to configure to find full text. Now, if we do not own the full text of this, it doesn't matter how much you do this, we're not going to find it. But this is great for setting up your your Endnote library. So we're going to go to Edit, Preferences, and then you're going to go to Find Full Text. You're going to want to select all of these links. Now, we don't have Web of Science anymore, so you can take that off if you want. I leave it on because it's helpful to have access to it sometimes. So then you are going to, oh, hold on. I put in the wrong thing in the chat. I'm sorry. So the OpenPath URL path is actually this link. I had to figure it out this morning, so I'm sorry about that. And not that one that says result. You want the open URL. Okay, so you're going to put that open URL path here. And then you're going to authenticate with, and this is going to make sure that you are able to log in with your MyLSU. So the first step in all of this is I would recommend making sure you're logged in with your MyLSU if you're off campus. But you're going to hit apply, hit OK, and this will, if we have the PDF of it, it will look for it. You can also go right click on something we don't have, and you can do open URL link. And in theory, it should go straight there. You might still need to, sometimes the URL link just doesn't work for whatever reason. So you can also download the PDF manually. Let me do this so that I can show you what this looks like. And then what you would do is you'd come over to attach PDF, and then you would just add the PDF there. Okay. So that is just one setting that you're going to need with all of this. Let me close these links real quick. So again, this works so you can make sure you save the reference. And you can tell if it has a PDF or not because the little link at the side will have a paper clip. That means that there is a PDF attached to it. So we can do the same thing with this one if we really wanted to. You can also click Find Full Text. And in theory, that's supposed to also open it, but it doesn't always work. Oh, look, it did that time. Heck yeah. Okay. So another great thing in the medical and science fields, some journals want full titles, so Journal of Biological Chemistry, and others want just the abbreviation, so j.biol.chem. So if you don't set this up, EndNote is always just going to default to including the entire journal. And that's true with all of this. This is computer generated. What it's pulling is the metadata, which is the backside that you as a student may not normally look at. And so it's this information that you see on the screen. Now, if this information is pulled incorrectly, if the metadata is bad or whatever, the information that is included in your EndNote may also be incorrect. So it's going to take you time to just go through and make sure, okay, did it input my authors correctly? Did it pull the year correctly? Is this actually the title? Is the journal actually this one? You can just double check it. You can also add notes. You can do your file attachment here. I also really like that EndNote has a fantastic tag system. So you can say, okay, this is on blood cell storage or chromium. You can make as many tags as you want. So if I need to create a tag, I would just create a tag and I would say canines. And then it adds it to the tag, but it also, any word that I have tagged here, it pops up. So this is really great if you're doing maybe dissertation research and you're like, oh, this fits really well with chapter 2. So you could tag it by chapters. You could tag it by topics. Okay, I want all the articles on climate change. Now, these are not auto tags, so you yourself will have to do that, but it's not too difficult. Also, let me go back to that journal term list real quick. So to get to that, you're going to go to library and open term list. And then there's the journals term list here. So you can delete all of these and then import a list. So you can create a list or import a list here. And this is all of the EndNote term lists that they already have. But if you have a different list, one maybe of bioscience, then we can go over here. And then these are all of the different bioscience titles and their official abbreviations. And so now when I do my citations, if I want to change the type of citation style, I can come over here and hold on, what am I trying to do? Give me 1 second. For subject bibliography, output styles, I can change to whatever style. And in theory, when it, generates a citation for me, it will use those abbreviated titles. So navigate to the EndNote terms folder and choose medical or science. This ensures your citations switch to the correct formats when you change styles. Also, another great thing is it comes with certain citation styles already in here. So it already has like APA 7th, author date, Chicago, numbered, Vancouver. You can open your style manager and play around. It comes with 501 citation styles already in there, including the National Library of Medicine. We got plus. We have, I mean, it really does a great job with just having some already in there. However, there are over 6,000 different bibliographic styles. So if you hit get more on the web, we can come over here and here are all 7,576 titles. So you can install individual titles. You can install all styles or styles by category. So if your professor says, I actually want the, not APA because that would be too easy. No, I want the International Criminal Justice Review. I can download that citation style and that will be the citation style it defaults to. So that's pretty nifty if your professor has a specific citation style that they want. For this example, we're just going to use cell. You can edit the citation style. I mean, I wouldn't mess with that personally, but you can if you really want to. So that is something to think about as well. Okay, so you can insert your references into Word using EndNote. Um, we're going to talk about that in just a second. I just want to make sure to cover this organization. So it also has groups. Groups allows you to share citations with other people. The tags help it stay organized, but you can create all kinds of groups that can be helpful for when you're working on different topics with other people. You can create smart groups, which is really nice. So a smart group, what it does is it auto organizes. So you can set a rule that's like any article with the keyword cancer. So let's do keyword. Let's actually do climate change because I have lots of that. Climate change from year 2025, you can create a group and it will automatically pull from your references and create a smart group that way. And then you can share. Well, you're supposed to be able to share. Sometimes it doesn't. You can also create a citation report, which is really cool. Citation reports. Oh, because it doesn't, we don't have Web of Science anymore. That's why it's giving me all this trouble. So you can create groups. You can also, if you are using EndNote Online, share your groups with other people. But this is just one way of helping you organize your information. Okay, other things. EndNote really, really wants you to use the search within their own library. So in theory, you can, because it's hooked up to PubMed, you could search instead of here, let's just do a mesh term. We'll do adolescent mothers, and I can search. And then in theory, anything on adolescent mothers should pull up, and then I can add it to my citations if I really want. I don't know why it's not. Oh, there it is. So add selected records to your library, and then it will add it. You can also go to, hold on, it's tools and, uh-oh, hold on. I've lost where it's at. Hold on one second. Is it libraries? Is it under, it might be under preferences. Hold on one second, guys. Oh no, this is not it. So you can add in the library's catalog, and I have to just remember where that is located at. Online search, connection files. That's it, connection files. So if you go to connection files and open connection manager, what you can do with this is these are all of the different connection, like the different libraries around the world that have EndNote. And what you can do is you can get more on the web. We're going to share and it will pull up. So if you, for some reason, have access to the Florida State University Library catalog, you can get access to that now. So what I would recommend is typing in Louisiana State University, and then it will be down here. You're going to download, and then you're going to come over here to File, Open Library. You then go to your downloads, wherever that is at on my computer. Here it is, downloads. And then, oh, right here. So then you will just open that file up and you can make sure then that it is clicked. So we, Psych Info, Louisiana State University. So then if I close this, this is searches on climate change, or let's try crop rotation. And so then anything we have that is an electronic book or a physical book should pull up within the catalog. Again, if the information, the metadata is not 100% correct, it may create some other issues, but then you can add to the reference there and it will saved to your references, which is really nice.
Hey, Randa,
Yes.
could you do me a quick favor? We
Yes.
are, as far as I can tell, I am still looking at your EndNote.
Oh no. I'm
So
so
could you just
sorry,
show that
guys.
really quickly? It's the
Yeah,
share screen thing on
it's
Zoom.
such a pain. Okay.
Thank you.
No, it's good. Okay, so connection files, open connection manager. Then you will get more on the web, which is what we just did. We downloaded our article or our catalog article. So then you're going to go to uh, Open Library, and then you're going to go to your downloads, wherever those are on your computer. I'm so sorry, guys. And then you're going to go to all files and you're going to open that file. And I can't do it twice, but it will give you, and you'll just make sure that Louisiana State U is selected. So then you close it and you can do a search within the library's catalog for books and electronic materials. So if I was to actually go back now and do climate change, and now these are also, so you could get really specific. You could do a keyword search. So anything with the keyword climate change that we have, physical or electronic copies of include. So this is books, books for the most part. Um, some of this might be, I'm not sure what a generic is, but then you can click on whichever you want out of here. You can download all of these if you want, but maybe I want this one, and then I would just add it, and then it imports it into my reference that way. Okay, so let me go back. Now, the one of the best things about EndNote is the cite while you write. So let me share my now Word document. We're just gonna come over here. Okay, so this is me writing about climate change. Did you know that incidence of cardiovascular, I misspelled cardiovascular, health uh, occurs 5 times, wait, hold on, that's not what I'm trying to say. Do you know incidence of cardiovascular health or cardiovascular disease increases almost 5 times after a significant weather event? So that's cool. Now, what I can do is if I am wanting to cite that, I can go to EndNote and I can go to Insert Citation. And maybe I want this article from McCafferty and I can cite it there. You can also change your citation styles. You can do that, MLA or the New England Journal of Medicine one. You can update citations in your bibliography. You can also insert more. So maybe you don't want just that one, but maybe you also want this one by Jern. Going to insert that. And now, so New England Journal of Medicine requires you to do footnotes like that. So maybe I want to do APA. And now it formats it for APA, which is very nice. And it includes it. So this is something if you're writing and you do that, oh, I know somebody said this, just automatically input that citation. Then you don't have to wait 400 years to like go back and find it and all this other stuff. Also, don't just delete your citations. There's ways to you can update citations and bibliography within the EndNote article. So do that because if you backspace it, what it's doing is there's code on here that is going to remain if you delete it. So you have to be careful with that because it could, especially if you're submitting to a journal or something like that, it leaves behind extra code. So you have to be careful. You can you can edit your library. Oh my gosh, not saying any editable editable. Why is that hyper? Why are you hyper? Stop it. Oh my gosh, bless me. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. This is fine. So edit library references or edit manage citations, and then you can fix this while, if you want. You can also remove the citation, and that's how you properly remove it instead of just deleting it. Uh, it also does a pre-flight submission check. So I have not done this yet, but it can help you identify and resolve any issues with the technical compliance and language in your manuscript. You can apparently do one free check on this, but I have not done it, but it is there. Okay, so oh, there's also a manuscript matcher. I don't remember my login right now, but it's in theory supposed to help you. Hold on, let me see, make sure I got this correct. Manuscript matcher, where are you? Mhm. Manuscript matcher. So what it is it uses the algorithms and data from Web of Science and journal citation reports, and it matches the most relevant and impactful journals that you may wish to submit. So it looks at the words you're using and it says, oh, you're talking a lot about climate change. Maybe the Journal of Climate Change is the best one for you. I don't know how well this will work since we no longer have Web of Science, but it is a tool that could be useful, especially if I could log in to my stuff, which it doesn't. Okay, so let me make sure I got that done. I'm going to stop sharing just for a second so I can read my notes. Okay, insert references. Oh, if for some reason it is not showing up in your Word document, I had this happen yesterday. Don't panic. You can go to File, Options, and then under add-ins, you have a bunch of lists of add-ins, and you just want to make sure that EndNote is in there. So this is the site where you write stuff, and you'll hit OK. So you can manage your column add-ins there. And that's where you'll select EndNote site while you write, and then it should pull up. So that's one thing. Let me okay, I'm not going to save this so I can or delete this Word document real quick and make sure my notes are okay. We talked about that. Oh, okay. EndNote citation help or their support, again, I'll just say they are fantastic. I highly recommend them. They really can do basically everything. They have chat support, which is very nice. They do also have a plugin that you can download for Google Chrome, Opera. There's one more. It does not work for Firefox, which is a shame. There's a couple things you can search within EndNote Click. So if I was looking at maternal health, it will do a search in PubMed for me, which is really nice. You can also change this EndNote Click. So when you search through it, what you can do is like, oh, I like this one. I'm going to add it to my locker, and then I'm going to search the library's website and see if we have that. Also, if you go to your EndNote one click and you go under settings, you can, hold on, that's not what I want. Sorry, more settings. You can then go to customize. You can have it search. Since we don't have Web of Science, I just turned that off. You can do Google Scholar, but a word of caution with Google Scholar is Google Scholar sometimes indexes predatory journals, or they index articles that have just been saved as preprints, or maybe they are just articles that somebody has saved to like an institutional repository that hasn't been peer reviewed at all, and so you have to be very careful about that. You can also change your citation style for your locker, but what it does is it saves articles to your locker where you can then export to the EndNote dashboard, and that's one way of saving. So then you can, upload it normally. You can also download the PDF, share a PDF. It does a lot of really cool stuff. The Locker does. I will say that this EndNote Click can be very confusing to use. I find that sometimes it doesn't work in the way that I expect it to. So, for instance, if I want to come back over and maybe I want to, let's go really quickly to a different paper. Maybe I really like this paper. You can't just click on it. It doesn't work like that. You have to, what it does is it puts this little EndNote icon at the top. And so when you go to the full text of it or the PDF version of it, you can, in theory, get citations. So you can, let me show you again. Oh no, it closed it. Here, we'll go over here again, linked full text. So you can search the institution library, which is kind of nice, and it will go and find it for you. And then it's continue to item. But what I usually do is I will, if I'm using the locker, I will just try to view the PDF myself. Hold on. That's not what I want. Uh, And sometimes it will pop up, but sometimes it won't. I try not to rely on the locker as much, the EndNote Click. I just don't find it as helpful. But I'll just download the PDF and then save it in one of our other ways. Okay. So also, EndNote has a fantastic YouTube training link here, and I'll share this in the chat as well. So it has, how to use EndNote 21 in 7 minutes. A lot of their training videos are very good. This one's how to use EndNote 2025, which I don't have EndNote 2025, but you may. So it really gives you kind of a more in-depth tutorial than I could ever do on it. They also have entire playlists of, how to use EndNote for Mac or Windows, what's new. So it can be really helpful. Okay, I think that's all of my notes, guys. Set it while you write. Make sure your stuff isn't saved to the cloud. Make sure it's saved to a physical thing. Import references. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking and stop sharing, and I would like to see if you guys have any questions. Oh, one thing I will share, I'm sorry, I will also share. Sometimes the question I get asked is how do I just create a works cited list? So you can create the ones you want, and then you're going to right click and you're going to do oh, sorry, not add reference, copy formatted reference. And again, it's going to default to whatever the output or hold on, where am I at? Output style. So right now it's to New England Journal of Medicine, but I can do APA. And then I will copy formatted references. And if I go into my Word doc again, I can control V and it will post it. Now, again, this is not 100% correct. It is up to you to then go through and double check it, but it is a better starting place than just having to enter it all in by yourself. Okay, that was the other thing I wanted to show. Do you guys have any questions? It's just a very general overview, but hopefully it was helpful. Was this helpful?
A question.
Yeah.
So when I'm passing around a paper for edits, often when I get it back, the all of the citations, the reference list is messed up.
Hmm.
Um, is it because I'm not sharing the library with them, or and then I'm assuming like say that the an entire paragraph is getting like uh cut and paste somewhere else, and then it's tending to take three citations and make it into one citation in the reference list, which of course messes everything else up.
Yeah, it's probably not because you didn't share the library, but probably because if you're doing the insert, you're citing while you write, if somebody has deleted one off, like I said, if you just backspace it, it leaves a bunch of extra code there for some reason. And so it messes up the formatting, which is why if you need to edit the citation, it really helps going into the paper itself and doing the citations that way, where you go to the EndNote and then you do edit and manage citations, and then you can delete a citation that way, as opposed to just backspacing it. That it causes a lot of heartache and frustration. But that could be one reason. There could be many, many, many reasons why, but you shouldn't have to share your entire library um, unless you really absolutely want to, but it shouldn't. And that could also be a question for the EndNote people too. sometimes I just say default to them because they are the creators of this beast and they can tame it. And then also it could depend on if you're using a Mac or a Word, I mean, a Windows, and then if somebody's editing on a Mac, it can also make it fussy. Or if somebody's using EndNote online and you're using EndNote for a desktop, that can cause some issues. It's EndNote can be very fussy sometimes, but certain people, especially in the sciences, I find are required to use it. Engineers usually are forced to use it. Um, I say download Zotero, then download EndNote, play around with whichever is easiest for you, and then just do that. The great thing is that you can export things out of Zotero into EndNote and vice versa. So I will also say though, if your computer is used to opening an RIS file in one of the programs, it will continuously try to open it. So like I kept downloading RIS files yesterday and it kept trying to open in Zotero because that's my current thing. And I'm like, I don't want it in Zotero. I want it in EndNote. So then I have to like go through it and manually import it, which is very frustrating. But you know, it is what it is. Any more questions? I don't think so. All right, I'm going to stop recording. Thank you so much for attending.